The Ahsoka season finale has revealed that whatever was calling to Baylan's skull is connected to the Mortis gods. In case you need a quick refresher, or if you didn't watch Clone Wars, the Mortis gods were the living embodiment of the Force, with the son representing the dark side, the daughter representing the light side, and the father who kept the balance. We were first introduced to the Mortis gods during Season 3 of the Clone Wars, when they are encountered by Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. During this encounter, it is revealed that the father wanted Anakin to take his place, since the Chosen One had the power to keep the son and daughter controlled, which would keep the Force in balance. Anakin chose to refuse this offer, which stunned the father. While attempting to leave the planet, the son kidnapped Ahsoka and placed her under his control. Ahsoka was then forced to fight Obi-Wan and Anakin. On a quick side note, this fight is one of the only times we ever see Anakin fight defensively instead of offensively. At the end of the fight, Ahsoka is killed by the son, who then proceeded to try and kill the father, but accidentally killed the daughter by mistake. However, before her death, the daughter was able to bring Ahsoka back to life. From this point on, a piece of the daughter would always live within Ahsoka. A short while later, the son showed Anakin his future, which horrified the Jedi Knight. Anakin agreed to aid the son so that this future could be prevented, but the father wiped Anakin's mind as the rules of time had been violated. At the end of these events, the father stabbed himself with the dagger of Mortis. This distracted the son long enough for Anakin to kill him. Now, on to the Ahsoka ending. We see Baylan standing with the Mortis god statues as he looks out at whatever is calling to him. There are several interesting things about this image. First, the only statues that can be seen are those of the father and the son. The statue that should represent the daughter has either been destroyed or was never there in the first place. It is currently assumed that the reason for this is that the daughter is still living within Ahsoka, which is the justification for the statue's absence. I would argue that this actually provides more questions than answers. If we are assuming that there used to be 3 statues and that the daughter's was destroyed after her death, why then would the father and son still have their statues, given that they died as well? It is possible that since part of the daughter lives on, she just never had a statue built, while the father and son do appear to be gone for good, hence why there are statues in their memory. Another interesting thing to note about these statues, the one depicting the son has a crack in his eye, very similar to the scar which Anakin had. I have a theory as to why this is. We know that the Mortis gods can transfer a piece of themselves into other beings, just as the daughter did to Ahsoka. Since Anakin was the Chosen One, what if he was powerful enough to reverse this process? We know that when the son chose to show Anakin the future, that this broke the rules of time. What if, as a result of this break, part of Anakin accidentally went into the sun? What this would mean, though, I am not sure. One of the aspects of the Ahsoka show was that Anakin's journey was complete. He had already done everything he needed for Luke, and now he has done all he can for his former Padawan. If the son is still somehow connected to Anakin, this would mean that Filoni is not done with the character. I am very interested to see what direction this will go, should this be the case. I also would never object to seeing more of Hayden Christensen. Now, on to my next question. Who created these statues, assuming that it was not the Force? I think it is safe to say that however these statues were created, it is connected to whatever is calling to Baylan. The theory that everyone seems to be talking about at the moment is that this will lead to the introduction of some version of Abeloth into canon. For those who are unaware, Abeloth is a character from Star Wars Legends who was introduced in the Fate of the Jedi novels. Abeloth was born as a human female and she served the Mortis gods, eventually being considered a member of their family and receiving the title of the Mother. However, as she was still human, she knew that one day she would die. To prevent this, she drank from the font of power, which was pure dark side energy, and she entered the pool of knowledge, which gave her all the knowledge of the past, present, and future. These acts turned her into the entity known as Abeloth, one of the most powerful and dangerous beings in all of Star Wars. After she transformed, the father and his children abandoned her, with the son and daughter imprisoning her so that she could not threaten the galaxy. However, any time the Force experienced a major change, this would create a ripple effect that would allow Abeloth to escape, and this would require the efforts of the son and the daughter to recapture her. After their death, this left the galaxy unprepared the next time Abeloth escaped. The first time this happened, it took the combined efforts of Grandmaster Luke Skywalker and the Sith Lord Darth Krayt to defeat her. Though she appeared dead, Luke was never fully convinced, and sought the dagger that had killed the Mortis gods, just in case Abeloth ever returned. Going back to Ahsoka and whatever is calling to Baylan, since the finale showed that he is looking out towards something away from the Mortis god statues, it can be assumed that neither the father, son, or daughter is what called to him. This leaves only the mother. I will say that if Filoni is deciding to bring Abeloth into canon, I would be slightly concerned. For the same reason that I mentioned in a video I did a few weeks ago, where I brought up the possibility of Starkiller joining Star Wars canon, Abeloth's level of power is something that we have never seen on screen before. It seems to me that the only way to introduce her into the current canon would be to heavily nerf her abilities, and by doing so, I think this could be disrespectful to her character. Let me know, what do you think about seeing the Mortis gods in Ahsoka, and what do you think is calling to Baylan? Put your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. With all that said, have a great rest of your day.